I am quitting Rise of Kingdoms. The title is not a lie. I mean, it's a bit of over-exaggeration, but I am technically going to be taking a step back from Rise of Kingdoms. And today, I'm just going to talk about it. I'm going to be fully honest about me playing Rise of Kingdoms over the next year or two and what it's going to look like from my account. Making content, I'll also talk about that, where the future of my channel is going. But today's video is about me technically quitting Rise of Kingdoms, or really more taking a step back. So if you want to know the future of the Archer Syndicate channel, where I'm going, where my account's going, what's going to be happening over the next year or so, you want to stick around till the end of the video. Now, I think the first thing that we should really start off with today is a little bit of personal context of where I am currently in my life outside of YouTube, obviously. And I'm in my final year of school. It's year 12 in Australia. No idea what that would be called in like America or another country, but it's the final year and they're hammering us. I've done 3 essays in 1 week, never ever done that much work before, and it really just means I can't play the game nearly as much as I'd like to. Playing Rise of Kingdoms itself is really time consuming compared to other games. I'd have to log in for at least an hour or two a day that I just don't have. I go to school, I get home by like 3 to 4 p.m., I eat dinner, go to the gym, and then I record a video, and that's pretty much my day done. So most days I don't actually have the time to play the game, and that really just means I'm going to be taking a step back from Rise of Kingdoms. I will quickly preface, this doesn't mean that I'm going to stop content. You should still expect a video every 2 to 3 days on my channel. That is pretty much always going to be a guarantee. I'm not going to stop that, but it just means that I won't be really playing the game as much. It also means I'm going to be migrating out of 1534 because, well, they're a kingdom that is really competitive and I can't put that up. This KVK, which I'll talk about a bit later in, is a key example of that. The KVK is over. We did lose, but the KVK is over, and I am only gotten, I think it's like 5.6 million kills. So really good example of the fact I just don't have the time to play the game. There's just not enough time nowadays for me to personally be really competitive in these KVKs. And if you've watched my videos and you've been stalking my account a little bit, you've probably noticed stuff like in events, like in-game events, I'll click on them in a video and it's like, I've done nothing. I haven't done Ian's Ballads. I've done a bit of Sunset Canyon Tournament. I haven't done Alliance Mobilization. Sometimes I'll even start a video and it's like 2 hours before reset. I haven't even claimed my VIP. And it's just because I don't have as much time as I used to back about a year or so ago, when I was still able to really juggle playing Rise of Kingdoms, schoolwork, and also recording videos, and also my own personal life. But nowadays, it's just not as simple and as easy for me, which is why I'm preempting that, especially after the 7-week holidays, which I'll have very soon, I'm going to have like no time to play. It's going to be at a point where I'm getting a lot of exams, I'm getting a lot of different homework, class tasks, work I have to catch up on, and it just means there's going to be less time for me to do things such as playing Rise of Kingdoms, which is why I'm fully announcing a step back from the game. This does mean that I'm still going to keep up to date as much as I can in terms of commander releases. I'm still going to keep up to date with in-game news. I'm going to try to keep up to date with which commanders are meta and which commanders are not, because if I'm being fully honest, I haven't played Rise of Kingdoms actively as I used to for probably about 2 or so months. That's probably around the time frame where they really started hitting us with the work, and that's when I started taking a step back. So I've been trying to keep up with all the commander stuff and all the new meta information. I think I'm doing an okay job with that. If you don't think I am, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to look at it in a different way, but it just means that there's going to be a shift in my account. So there's going to be a shift in the way I record. You won't see my power really. I mean, my power is going to go up because I'm still going to train troops, but you won't see my kill points change pretty much at all. My dead troop count probably won't change very much, and it's mainly because I am taking that step back. So just to be fully honest with you guys, there is going to be a step back in the amount that I'm actually playing the game. Content-wise, hopefully should be the same. Obviously, live streams and stuff will definitely be lower. I'll still try to live stream in all my KVKs, but you just can't expect a hectic live stream like where I'm actually able to compete and fight, because I won't have good crystal tech, since I will be pretty much playing the game at a bare minimum level, kind of just logging in, doing VIP and stuff. If anything, I'm going to ask for those tickets, those new vacation tickets that let me skip a KVK every now and again, because there's going to be some times where I can pretty much barely log in. Like I wake up and the only time I log in is like on the car ride to school. So there's just coming a point nowadays where I don't have as much time to play the game as I used to, especially because there just are other priorities. 2 years ago when I first started the channel, or maybe it's a year and a half ago now, and even 6-7 months ago when I was still recording videos, I had the time, the schoolwork wasn't as intense, But now, even with me having dropped a subject, which means I'm not doing a subject, I don't have as much time really to play the game as much as I wanted to. Another thing that should be considered, I will mention it, is I'm not as passionate about the game, especially the fighting side, as I used to be. I'm still really interested in Commander releases, metas and stuff, but when it comes down to like the actual fighting in the game and actually fully playing the game, I'm not as fiery and passionate about it. Maybe it's because I've got other things in life, other priorities that have just taken a bit of a, let's say, step over Rise of Kingdoms. Or maybe it is just I've played the game for almost 3 years now. Maybe it is almost 4 years. Oh, it's about 3 years. And I'm getting a bit of a burnout. So that's certainly a possibility as well. Doesn't mean I don't like the game. It's just when you log in for 1,267 consecutive days, it kind of gets a little bit monotonous. So maybe this step back will be good for me to like really appreciate the game a little bit more, or just something that I need to do just to be fully content with it. Because at the end of the day, Rise of Kingdoms is a game, and while technically for me it is, I'd almost say, my job as well, I think content creating and Rise of playing the game are kind of a little bit different. Making content is a whole different ballpark to just playing the game and fighting in KVKs. Obviously means my knowledge may not be 1,000,000,000% correct, but it should still be able to be kept up to date. I do like to keep up with Commander metas. All that stuff still really does interest me. I haven't really lost interest in that. It's more the monotony of just doing the same things over and over again. And maybe that's a Rise of Kingdoms thing. Maybe it's more just a me thing because I've played the game for so long. And at this point, it is coming a little bit repetitive. So the fact that I don't have as much time to allocate, and my unwillingness almost to allocate the spare time I do have to just playing Rise of Kingdoms, is probably a main reason why I would be taking a bit of a step back in the future. So just to fully clarify, as just a little bit of a wrap up for this, I am going to be taking a break from Rise of Kingdoms playing. I'll still log in every day. I'll still be making as many videos as I can. You just won't see as much me on the game and playing. Also, it does mean stuff like Discord DMs. I may not be able to respond to every single one as fast as I used to. And obviously, YouTube comments, you may be noticing some of them I just put a heart on and I don't respond. And that's, again, I just don't have as much time. So when it comes down to it, I'll be trying to still respond to as many comments and also as many Discord DMs as I can. But just don't expect me to respond as fast or as in-depth as I used to. In-game DMs, don't really bother messaging me there because I'm not gonna, like I said, be on the game as much, so I just won't see those DMs. And if I do, it will be like a month or two, or even maybe 2-3 weeks after you DM me, so it's gonna take a while for me to get around to those. So really, if you have any questions, I'd stick to the Discord, YouTube comments. If it's a big thing, I always read it and I will respond. But just keep in mind, I have a lot of time commitments. Depending on when I have exams and stuff, you may see me not even responding to comments, and it will take like 2-3 weeks before I start even doing favorites and stuff on them. So just keep in mind and bear with that. I will still crank out as many videos as I can, obviously, and I'll still be keeping up to date with the meta. It is just a matter of I don't have as much time to play the game as I would like, and it is just a matter of when you get towards the end of high school, they really start to hammer you, especially at my school. With the way that school marking system works, and I'm not going to go fully into it, if every student does good, everybody does better, so they want all the students to do well, so they're really pushing it. So it's just at that point for me, I don't have as much time to play the game. Hopefully you guys, I'm sure, can respect that, and I don't think I'm going to face like a massive amount of criticism for it. It is just the truth. Making content though, I'm still very happy to do that. I'll be putting the same amount of effort into every single video. There is no way I'm going to stop that. It is more just fighting in KVKs, making those KVK goals. They're going to be really lackluster. Like my goal for this KVK is to log in 5 times would be the goal. So really that's what it's going to look like over the coming year or so. After that, I don't know, a year's a fairly long time. When I go to university, I may have more time to do this. Maybe I'll have less time, whatever it may be. That is to be seen in around a year from now. So for now, I'm taking a step back from playing the game. Videos will still be coming, and I'm also looking to migrate. So any kingdom that is willing to accept my account, it's lower power, but it's not going to be a heavy contributor. Please do just like DM me either on Discord or in-game. I'll be checking my in-game DMs over the next couple of days. I do need a kingdom that's willing to just like take me as almost a borderline deadweight. So if anyone that wants to take a borderline deadweight account that will still log in and I guess occasionally do some KVK fighting, I'll try and get 1,000,000 deads of KVK. I can just fill flags and stuff, but kill points not going to happen. So just give me a DM if you're a small kingdom or a big kingdom that just doesn't really care if I migrate. I am looking for a kingdom, so give me a DM. That would be very helpful. Other than that, I am taking a step back from the game. The other thing for today's video, I do think I should give a usual KVK overview as to how my KVK went. My goals were to reach 2 billion kill points. As you can imagine, that did not happen. I got like maybe 30 million kill points. If we're being generous, maybe it was 60 if we be really generous. Yeah, today this KVK wasn't that amazing. I'll be fully honest why. Of course, A, again, I don't have as much drive to play the game, and B, I missed like all the key battles. Our Zone 4 here, where the first battle, that one I was there for pretty much most of it. It was school holidays, everything was fine. I fought the battle, I streamed it, we won in I think 2 to 3 days, and we were fighting against an Imperium Kingdom. I'm pretty sure it's 32-17. So we were fighting us and our campmates 24-26, we were fighting against 32-17, and we did win that Zone 4 fight. It was a very fun fight. Probably the last major battle I'll be able to take place in fully over the next year or so. So that was really fun. And then I went away on school camp and I missed the Pass 6 battle, which was, I think, the biggest battle in our KVK. I was watching it on my phone. It just kept going back and forth. That battle lasted the whole of Zone 5, so this whole entire zone here. There was constantly fighting at that Pass 6. Eventually, I was there for a bit of the Pass 7, but most of Pass 7 was just like occasional rallies, and there wasn't as much field fighting, especially on the second day, which is when I started. To my knowledge about the Pass 7, because again, I wasn't fully endowed in this KVK, I wasn't fully participating in it. Pass 7 was very back and forth. We were winning and then we were losing and we were winning and then we were losing and we were winning and then we were losing. But mainly we were kind of just defending against 32-17 because our allies lost their zone over here. So this zone here is our allies zone, and I'm pretty sure they lost that zone, to my knowledge, within the first like couple of days of it opening. And after they lost it, they had to cram into our zone, and then it was like 3 different camps barreling into one zone. So it was one zone with 3 camps defending against 2 zones with 3 different camps in total. So it was still a fair battle, but it was definitely much harder. And that also meant we had less space to build into Kingsland. So this whole pass here, we didn't have access to it. And this pass here, we didn't have access to it. And our enemies did. So it kind of screwed us over in Kingsland. And as I know, to my knowledge, the way that Kingsland went down, it was, we were holding our own really well. I know 1534 and our allies in 24-26, but one of the camps pulled out. I can check my DMs. I did ask the king about it. I don't remember which camp pulled out. I think to my knowledge it was Greenwood. I may be wrong there, so if I'm wrong, please let me know if you participated in the KVK. But one of the camps just said, look, we're out of resources, we're burnt out, we can't go any further. And then it was just kind of GG's from there. So our kingdom retreated and our allies retreated, and we lost the KVK. So I know our kingdom definitely had more fight to give, but we kept fighting after. We were fighting just to defend the pass for the fun of it. But eventually it was like, yeah, it's just a waste of resources and we're just going to pull out fully. So our kingdom eventually pulled out, and then our allies also pulled out with us. And that was pretty much how the KVK went. It wasn't the most exciting KVKs and there wasn't any big drama or big betrayals, but it was definitely a fair fighting KVK. I think every single camp fought really well. There wasn't really one side that was like a massive letdown. So very fun fighting KVK. I enjoyed the fights I did get in with 32-17. Zone 4 was great. I mean, maybe it was great because we were winning, but it was also great just because there was a lot of fighting and a lot going down. So this zone, really fun to fight in. All the people in 32-17, really good fighters. Even our enemies up in Water Camp, and I think the other camp would be not Daybreak because we're Daybreak. Whichever the other enemy camp was, it is Earth Camp. The really good fighters. Water Camp are our allies, by the way. So if everyone in this KVK just fought really well. And I think it was definitely a fun KVK from me spectating it, really. I didn't play as much as I normally would, but it was a fun KVK to watch. In terms of my best performing commanders, from what I gathered from what fighting I did get in, my like top 3 commanders would be Zulang, Herman, and probably like Shajar. Shajar was actually really, really good in this KVK. If you look at her kills, she's only got 900,000 because I didn't fight. But what I did get from her was she was the strongest. In the Kingsland fighting I did and the Zone 5 fighting I did, she was a good commander. She held her own really well. She pretty much got positive trades like all the time for the majority of it. And in Kingsland, she was still pretty trading pretty well, considering my Crystal Tech it looks like this, and this is me still upgrading it after Kingsland. My Crystal Tech doesn't even have improved morale 1, and she was still getting the best trades really in most fights. That's because she's a bit tankier. She could hold up a bit better than Zulang and Herman, so she was generally actually in Kingsland getting better trades even though I had worse tech. So Shajar really, really doing a good job in this KVK from my personal experience. Some people aren't sold on her. I am. I think she was a good choice for me. She is just really strong with YSG. I've been running her with YSG. Definitely my second strongest March. I'd still say dual lang with Herman is the strongest, but there were often situations where even Shajar would outperform my dual lang Herman just because of her tankiness and the ability for her to sustain the march. And when I make a mistake, she still can trade pretty decently. So Shajar, definitely in my top 3 performing commanders. I don't think she's like top 2. I still think Herman would be second, dual lang would be first, but she was strong by a lot of means. She was not a weak commander, and I definitely enjoyed running her. Weakest would be Boudica with Ashwani Power, but that's just to be expected. Boudica, really outdated commander currently compared to the other meta commanders I have. So Boudica, she's just a little bit weaker, but she definitely did give a bit of a kicker. Usually she'd trade pretty decently, but she often got my worst trades out of them all. And Ashurbanipal, he's very new and he's got AoE, so I doubt it's him. My opinion would be Boudica is the weaker commander in that pairing. Boudica is the weaker commander in that pairing, which means that she's probably going to be the next one I replace if I choose to use my gold heads, which I'll probably just save them. So Boudica, definitely my most or worst of my 6 commanders, but she wasn't really bad. It just wasn't at the meta breaking level compared to my other 6. Other than that, in terms of the future upcoming KVKs, hopefully I've migrated and I still do plan to cover the KVKs I'm in, and I'll do as much fighting as I can stream, but I won't really be fighting off stream. So just expect any stream fighting. I should be able to upkeep that an hour or 2 on the weekend or something isn't going to kill me. But when it comes down to actually fighting on school days and stuff, it just isn't going to happen. It's not really realistic for me in the current position. But this KVK was very fun. Through everybody in 1534, this was probably the best kingdom I've been in a very long time. I had a lot of fun with you guys. Obviously, I am going to be migrating just because I'm not going to sit around in a really competitive kingdom as a deadweight player. It just wouldn't make sense. And a special shout out to the king. Definitely became one of the closest people I've spoken to in Rise of Kingdoms. So he's not actually in the Alliance right now. I don't know if he changed his name back to Snorlax or if he is still Bloodlust, but he was definitely one of the best kings I played Rise of Kingdoms with in a very long time. So this kingdom, it's really passionate. I highly recommend if you're a high power player or someone who just wants a really competitive kingdom, consider coming to 1534. It's an amazing kingdom. I say it from personal experience. There's a lot of dedicated players. There's a really, really good community. I know they bought someone a laptop recently. Tyradus, you may know him from my Ark of Osiris streams. He runs the Ark team. They all saved up and bought him a laptop. If I knew about it and I actually read the Discord DMs, I probably would have given some money, but I didn't. So this kingdom, I mean, really, really amazing community. I think everybody in the kingdom can attest to it, and a lot of people who fought with us can also attest to it as well. So a massive thank you to 1534. I think it's been about a year I've been with them, and it's definitely been one of the best years I've had playing Rise of Kingdoms. So thank you guys very much for being an amazing kingdom. Hopefully I will come back after school is done and I go to uni. I hear that you have more time in university. So if it all works out like that, I'll end up migrating back to 1534 as long as the kingdom hasn't died or moved on somewhere else. So I definitely do keep them at the moment at the top of my list of kingdoms I would want to migrate back to after I'm able to start playing again. So 1534, amazing kingdom, very strong fighters, probably some of the best I've ever played with, and they're definitely one really dedicated kingdom. So if you're looking for a kingdom, I definitely recommend 1534. Fairly high AC, definitely top power. Sleepy Snorlax is still his name. So if you want to migrate, I'd message Sleepy Snorlax. I know there is a person you message for migration, but I don't remember exactly who it is. So if you want to migrate, trust me, really, really nice to come to this kingdom. There are minimum requirements, but if your account is younger or it is a lower power account, you may not need to have 2 billion kill points and 10 million deaths, but that would be a good baseline if your account is around 80 million power. So if you're looking to migrate, definitely give the king a message. I think you'll be able to find a really good community here if you are a higher power player who's really competitive and very interested in doing some big KVKs with Imperiums and still being able to hold your own as an A-seed kingdom. Now, other than that, I just want to say to everybody, the channel is not going to die. I'm sure there's going to be some comments, oh my god, we're going to miss you, thinking that I'm quitting YouTube, like actually quitting because I didn't watch the video. I just did a little bit of clickbait just to get, a few more people watching. So everyone who came out to the video today, thank you very much. Obviously, this has been a very fun journey playing Rise of Kingdoms. I do plan to hopefully pick it up again after school, but it is just going to be one of the most, not stressful, I don't really get stressed by school exams, but one of the most pressured and one of the most work-filled or work-loaded years that I'll have. So everyone who sticks by, thank you very much. And hopefully my videos don't degrade in quality or become less engaging. So if everything works out, everything should be fine. I should still be able to make videos. And other than that, I just want to say, like usual, I thank you all for watching and I hope to see you in the next one.